It's not easy for anyone to listen to a 90-minute podcast on a Wednesday night. So I'm going to separate into 3 podcasts, starting this new format next week, where Tuesday, it's going to be similar to this, my monologue. Then I'm going to take some time to answer some of your questions. So feel free to email me, frankcurzioresearch.com, if you have questions. This is going to take away from the paid version. Anyone who's a paid subscriber gets Frankly Speaking for free, which is a Q&A. Get into more detail. This is going to be a little different. As you know, I'll throw it out there since you guys should know this. I can't give personal advice. I can't answer an email if you say, hey, Frank, what about this stock, XYZ? And I can't reply to the email and say, well, XYZ, I would buy or sell it. I can't do that. I could talk to an audience like I'm doing now and mention stocks. So if you ask a question, I could repeat the question here and then answer it to a group, right? It's kind of like with Kramer if you watch the lightning round, same thing. When he can't answer an email personally telling you what to do to a specific stock, but he could answer on Mad Money where there's tons of people watching. A lot of you already know that. So on Wednesday, and this might be Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to publish the interview, and I'm not too sure because it's just weird. I've been doing this for a long time, interviewing people, again, 14 years. Later in the week, every time I say, hey, I usually tape on Tuesdays or early Wednesdays. This way I can get that interview, this way it's timely. And I always book my interviews pretty much that week because I want to see what's going on and get the right person in. That's what we did this week. Sector that's really booming right now. It's incredible. And someone in the middle of it, the smartest guy that you'll probably know in this sector. That's what I'll interview in a minute. But a lot of times they say, hey, can I do it Thursday? And I'm like, well, as long as it's not timely and I could publish it the following week. But a lot of times I do it, and it's funny because when I'm on other people's podcasts, they'll book me and they'll have me on like 3-4 weeks later. I'm like, man, we talk about stuff that's not relevant. For me, I book them Monday, maybe the weekend or Monday. I don't have like a schedule going out too far because I always want it to be timely. I want to get someone on with that, if something big's going on in the market. That's important. I think it's important. That's what I want. I'm sure you guys want that. So Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be doing the interview. That's going to be interview only, again, for 30 minutes. And that's where, you'll hear from stock analysts, portfolio managers, scientists, doctors, economists, billionaires, politicians across the whole board. If you were interviewed, even young influencers, since I believe in giving young, hardworking kids a shot to talk to a large audience. Actually, those are some of my favorite interviews. You see the passion, the work ethic in these kids. Plus, my dad told me, always be nice to the people on the way up because it's the same people you're going to meet on the way down. So hopefully some of these kids, maybe one of them comes next, Mark Zuckerberg. And if this Curzio research thing doesn't work out, they can give me a job. But I love giving them the platform to talk on too sometimes, which is cool. But then on Thursday, and again, we might switch Wednesday and Thursday, whatever. It's going to be 30-minute podcast Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Thursday, then Daniel and I are going to be talking about the markets. And if something's really relevant on Tuesday and into Wednesday, I might publish that segment on Wednesday. But, we break down the biggest stories, the best way to make money off of those themes, and sharing lots of ideas. And I think having those segments at 30 minutes each is going to be pretty cool, which you can listen to iTunes. You can hit the subscribe button. This way you automatically get every podcast uploaded to your podcast app. You can watch through our Curzio Research YouTube channel, where we'll be broadcasting every one of those podcasts. And you can go to Wall Street Unplugged or WSUpodcast.com and enter your email in the box that says follow weekly Wall Street Unplugged podcast. So this way we could update you and you could see reports on it. Again, if that's not marketing, that's us just letting you know that, hey, this podcast is coming out and we have timestamps and what's about. This way you can look at it. Some of them might be relevant to you and some of them you're like, you're interviewing a guy that I hate. I don't want to hear it. I get it. Either way, we want to hear from you. Want your feedback. I say this all the time. This podcast is about you, not about me. I think this format is going to provide tons and tons of value to you. Doing it several days instead of packing everything into one long podcast. So, once again, this format's going to start next week. And before I get to my amazing interview with the familiar guest, it's going to be fantastic. So I booked less than 24 hours ago. Actually, for selfish reasons, I was talking about my business and asking him for some advice about things I'm going to do in the future. And then he started talking about this industry and said something that was incredible. And next thing you know, we were talking 20 minutes about it. I said, you know what? You need to come on the podcast. We need to talk about this right away. Because it's the industry you guys email me about all the time. Before I get to that, and by the way, finally, that sector's breaking out where prices just passed through 5-year highs. Throwing out so many hints you guys could guess it, but I'm not going to give it to you yet. but it's breaking out. I think it's just the beginning. But before I get to my interview, I have a quick favor to ask you. So over the years, you have sent me amazing feedback. It's positive, negative, and sometimes the negative ones are much more powerful because it helps us understand you. What you like, what you don't like, how to make our products better. I mean, some people hate that stuff when they don't like to be criticized. We don't mind. We want it, to really have a great brand, you have to listen to your customers. So those emails are important. And I think it shows great character. If you could win over someone who's really pissed off about something and you make that change, and then they come back and say, hey, you know what? You guys did right. They're going to be with you for life. I know that for a fact because there's people who have been listening to me for decades. And a lot of that is getting that constructive criticism in those emails, but a lot of them are also positive. And as you know, we made a full push into video with Curzio Research. And I want to say we're one of the first financial publishers to do this. Well, others provide video, but we are going all in on video, where we have our own studio here. We have cameras, everything. Other places have studios as well. But doing our newsletters, if you notice, with my newsletters, all three of them that I write, you're going to see me in a 30 to 40-minute interview. It may sound long, but I make it interesting. I bring up the sites, research, I educate you. You see me doing it. You see me doing the research. Instead of just getting a 10-page report that could pretty much be written by anyone, where the analyst could be on the golf course, hanging out with the clubhouse members. No, you don't get that. You see me doing the research, and a lot of people that we hire are also going that route because it provides tons of value. I mean, it's not just giving out picks to you guys, right? It's educating you, going over our mistakes, right? Which is a shame. I mean, I watched Biden speak yesterday, and I think both sides could agree that this whole Afghan thing and the exit was pretty much a big fuck up, right? But yet, he just went on TV yesterday and said, hey, this was a huge success, exactly what we planned. And I'm like, holy cow, really? I mean, both sides are just like going, just go on TV and say, listen, we made a mistake. We thought we had this right, whatever. I know in a political playbook, you're not allowed to do that, right? Rule number 1, never ever admit it. But when both sides, I mean, you got to look at the polls, both sides, Democrats and Republicans. I mean, there's a pride in America that we're powerful and we're better. And, you kind of lose that when you see a country like Afghanistan just, making fun of us and leaving and the way that whole thing went down and leaving Americans. Holy shit. I mean, number 1 rule ever, never leave anyone behind, right? It's just, anyway, it's just crazy. But getting back to the newsletter, after I had a little rant there, but, for us, it's, using video and seeing all this stuff and talking about it, even politics and things like that, it shows how authentic we are. It shows that we're really doing the research. It shows that, hey, we're going to educate you again and teach you, what we can learn from that. Even if it's politics, how do you make money off of it? And that's what we've done a great job of. But going totally into video has been a huge boon to us, and it's resulted in incredible growth to the point where we have the highest revenue per user in the industry. And it's about 40%, 35% higher than our nearest competitor. The only reason why I know is because one of our competitors just went public to a SPAC, and they said that they have the highest, and they don't. So what that means, when people come into our products or people come into our ecosystem, they buy a lot of our products because they know we have some of the best research out there. They know we're not full of shit. They know that they could trust us, and that's huge. So where am I going with this? I have tons of written testimonials, and I'm always humble when I read them. They're just really incredible. And my marketing team asked, is there any way that you can get some of these on video? Anyone willing to do a 1-minute video testimonial about how we help them become a better investor, educated you? There's some of you who are crypto intelligent investors actually wrote in to say that being a subscriber to that product changed their life since they never saw gains like that. I mean, I've never saw gains like that either. It's just, when you see a stock in 30 months and you're getting 10x to 30x returns, you know why venture capital poured $1 billion into it so far this year, which is more money than they poured in the last 4 years. You can see why so many people are pushing into crypto with these gains. I mean, if you're going to risk money, it's better if the reward is 3x, 4x. Isn't it better if the reward is 10x, 20x, 30x? Yes. So risk reward, it provides a much better risk reward if you're looking to be aggressive with your money. And we showed that in that newsletter. It made a lot of people money. That's really powerful when I get things like that. And it's my job. Like I said, that's what we love to do here. That's what people pay me for. But my marketing team will make it a major push because we are seeing strong growth. We are a publicly traded company, and you don't see a lot of those video testimonials. So if anyone's interested in doing that, you could tape it on your iPhone, Galaxy, webcam, freestyle it. Even if you're mad at me, you could send an interview of you being pissed off, which would be pretty funny. But again, that would be a favor to us if you want to do it. I know how busy you guys are. Believe me, I know. But if that's something that you like to do, you could send it to frank@curzioresearch.com, frank@curzioresearch.com. No longer than like a minute, maybe a little bit longer than that, something. And, again, we won't use your last name or anything. But if that's something that we helped you or did anything for you, again, we've received so many testimonials. I'm always humbled by them. And, I never want to ask anyone to do something like this. It's actually uncomfortable. But the fact that we're growing, and what makes me want to say this to you, and I'll be honest, is I want people who never heard of us to come to Curzio Research because I know we can help them. And if I'm not doing that and making that marketing push, that means other people with shitty marketing campaigns are marketing to these people. They're using their platforms and they're getting their ass kicked. Okay. And that's when I view the industry like that, that gives me motivation to say something like this. So if that's something you're interested in, again, it's just video interview or a quick video, 1 minute thing if you want to do it. If not, no worries. Pretty cool. But my marketing team has really stressed. I said, okay, I'll mention on the podcast and see the response we get. Either way, I love you guys. Thanks so much for all the support and looking forward to the new format.